Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Harvesting Justice podcast. It is June 30th, 2026, the day that we are recording today. And we're going to be talking to you about 4 years after the overturn of Roe v. Wade and just some updates in the happenings in our world at Pro-Life San Francisco. So let's dive in. Ooh, I'm about to dive in.
Is that a song
Whoa.
reference? I don't get these Hannah Montana transitions.
It's not a Hannah Montana. It's actually a pretty dirty song.
Well, that's your opinion.
But I like it for the ooh, I'm about to dive in. Like I just think that's funny.
Yeah, I think every podcast needs to have that as a transitional tune, a little cue, musical cue.
So we are your co-host. I'm Melanie Salazar, the executive director of Pro-Life San Francisco. I'm a wife. November will actually be 4 years married to my husband, Jerry. I have a 2-year-old son, JT, who is a healthy mutt because he's mixed with being Korean and Chicano, Tejano, Otomi, indigenous. So I am Chicana. My indigenous roots are Otomi, so I speak some Spanglish, broken Spanish.
I wish I had my own language. I just have English.
No, that's not true, Robert. You've been learning Mandarin and Spanish on Duolingo.
That's not enough. That's not from my heritage either.
But you are learning languages. I'm on a 500 something plus day streak on Duolingo with French, je comprends un peu français, and I'm also a birth doula and an aspiring fertility awareness educator and hormone coach. I also love to dance, Latin dancing, partner dancing, West Coast swing. So that's a little bit about me. Yeehaw.
My name is Robert. I'm the executive coordinator at Pro-Life San Francisco. That just means I volunteer almost all my time to do all it needs to be done. I love to write. I love creating media content. That's what I came aboard to do, but I'm also doing a lot of basically 90% of the organizational stuff that always needs to get done in the background to keep us afloat. And it's awesome learning on the job as well. I would have to say all the systems that it takes to keep an organization running. It's fun, though it could definitely use in the future more team members who are here on a daily basis. And I'm really proud of all the people who've stepped up for, different outreaches and events, whether it's the sidewalk outreach or the reproductive share fair, mutual aid giveaways that we do out in the community. Each and every one of you who've come out and supported the community through our platform, it's been inspiring to see more people take an interest and be active and giving of their, both their time and their passion as well. But yeah.
And what are some more of your fun facts, Robert? Because I just listed off a full litany of my fun facts.
Well, let's see.
You said I'm the executive coordinator, and then you just rabbit trail.
That's how I am. I need people to keep me on focus. That's the kind of person I am.
Fun facts. I already said you've been learning Mandarin and Spanish.
I'm on 112-day streak on Duolingo, unfortunately with quite a few pauses in the midst. I got to probably at least 103 days, maybe 102, just to be more accurate. 102 without any streak freezes. If you've been on Duolingo, you know what that is. So uninterrupted, 102 days.
I want to say a funny thing. So a few months ago, was it January when I was arrested in Memphis, Tennessee? Was it January?
End of December, actually.
Okay. End of December.
Am I mixing it up with the chess roadblock?
Oh, you're right. Okay, I'm Memphis, Tennessee, December 2025. I was arrested. And Robert was there, not getting arrested. But I remember I gave my phone to Robert. And because I didn't know how long I would be in jail, I spent 5,000 Duolingo coins to make sure that I didn't lose my streak while I was in jail. And then I ended up only being in jail 24 hours. So in the end, I didn't need to spend the 5,000 coins for a 7-day streak freeze.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't need to do that.
And it's neither here nor there.
And I could have just given you my phone and been here's the password.
Do a Duolingo lesson.
Do a lesson for me.
And I might have.
My streak.
What level of Spanish?
What
level are you on?
I'm doing French, and today I'm
But you got a Spanish one open or no?
No.
I don't know. Look at French. I wouldn't have been able to help you with that.
Well, you would figure it out. But anyways, I'm
Right.
just saying, like, funny
It would have downgraded your
side story
score
on
for sure.
Duolingo. Okay,
Yes.
but go on.
So yeah,
Fun facts.
I would like to know multiple languages, but unfortunately, I'm only fluent in English. I almost said Spanish. Gosh.
Spanish.
Man, my mind.
Freudian slip.
I am
Unfortunately, I'm only-
politically homeless. I have been. I remember registering as nonpartisan because I thought, I've been raised to be open-minded, so no party. And then I learned about abortion, and I think at least 6 months after that, I learned that there was some association with the federal Republicans have a pro-life plank and the federal Democrats have the opposite. So I thought, that makes me Republican, maybe? I don't know. Let me just register for that. I'll vote for Carly Fiorina for the 2016 presidential primary. But then she dropped out before the California races, so then I had to vote for Ted Cruz. I felt like I had to. And then Trump was on the scene, and then I was like, I guess I'm not a Republican. And went back to no party libertarian for a season without really knowing too much.
Really?
I think you really have to read enough to really understand something before you lay it online and say, I identify as this. So not really a libertarian, though I really am inspired by their, bucking the two-party system. That's something I appreciate about them. I don't know much about economics and taxes to know if they have the right view on that or not. But yeah, back to no party preference. And definitely I'd like to encourage people wherever you're at on literally any other belief. Children, they have a responsibility. Or
children have a responsibility?
Parents have a responsibility to care for their children, and children also exist in utero, not just prior to birth. That goes for both fathers as well as mothers. So it's something that I've really felt strongly about ever since I saw a photo of a first trimester abortion. And so I encourage people, look, you don't have to be a card-carrying Republican. I'm not. And so
Neither am I.
And you really just need to extend your care for human life to the early stages of life as well as all the rest. When was the first time you learned about abortion? Can you remember the first time that it really at least struck a nerve in terms of a negative feeling?
For sure, my earliest memory of learning about abortion was in the 3rd grade because my mom was my 3rd grade teacher, and during October Respect Life Month, she always did a special teaching to the class about abortion, and that as Catholics we can pray for the preborn to be saved, that they would not be killed, and for the babies that are killed, that we can spiritually adopt them. So that's my earliest memory. But knowing my mom, she probably told me about abortion before the 3rd grade, but that's when I remember learning about it. But fun facts, you just said executive coordinator.
Fun fact, since you brought up religion, Duolingo. I am not religious, so there you go. Probably what shocks and frightens many people.
Oh my gosh.
People can be pro-life without being religious?
You can't be pro-life and not a Christian.
That is myth. That is a myth.
You can't be here. You cannot.
We are all welcome at Pro-Life San Francisco. I'm proud and excited about that, to see all the rest of the future of people coming and get involved in this group.
You're also an artist?
Yes, I love to draw. That's one of my lifelong hobbies. I feel like ever since, it's everyone starts out as an artist. Every kid draws in kindergarten, but then I don't know, this interest falls off as you get older.
And some keep drawing.
Yes, except for people like me. And I guess that kind of contributes to my little creativity, artistic spark that, when it comes to, and that comes in fades and ebbs and grows over time. Sometimes I'm not making as many creative content pieces for Pro-Life SF as I would like to, but there's a lot on my plate. So
yeah,
but that's what I love to be able to engage with. But ever since learning about abortion and some other high interest topics of mine since the end of high school, class of 2010, go Cardinals. 2010. If you know, you know. Then yeah, it's since then I've learned that I love to journal as well, which contributed to my writing hobby.
I don't think I knew that about you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, what's going on in the world right now and the topic at hand today?
Ooh, I'm about to dive in.
The transitions, I can't stand.
Let's hear you sing it. Sing it once.
I'm about to dive in. Oh, no. Don't clip that, please.
I'll accept that. Okay, so June 24th.
Yes, we just celebrated
June 24th, 2026 made 4 years since the overturn of Roe v. Wade. Crazy. Like something I've been thinking about is how people died not seeing the end of Roe. Like pro-lifers like you and me who gave their lives to this cause died not seeing that. And for so long, that was the North Star in the pro-life movement. Like that was like the
Yeah,
goalpost for so
essentially,
long.
it hindered the ability for people with the aim, the singular aim and goal, to protect children's lives from being legally ended by the medical establishment in our country. It kept them from enacting laws democratically. And now, with Roe off the books, thanks to the Dobbs versus Jackson case, we are now free to, persuade and influence, legislatures as citizens to enact protections for these children, for these
Yeah,
families.
I want to touch on like why overturning Roe mattered because Roe v. Wade, well, it was a messed up case. Like homegirl Jane Doe, was the fake name, right? Like she never even had an abortion. Like the girl that the lawyers were using to try to legalize abortion, she never even had an abortion
Wasn't
herself.
it
Like
the fact that it was the aim and goal of the lawyers and they were just seeking out a person to kind of fill a slot in order to
yeah.
get their case off the ground?
Yeah, and I mean by the time Roe was legal, like abortion was legalized, she had her baby. She never even had an abortion. But
Essentially, it wasn't her aim in mind to have abortion
mhm.
legalized across the country.
And it was a case that I believe came out of Dallas, Texas, and which is like so crazy for me because I feel like being a third generation Texan, like so much history has come out of Texas, and now I'm here in California where so much history has come out of California. Like I'm like both ends of the history spectrum, but so Roe v. Wade is what legalized abortion in all 50 states. And
1973.
1973. And the same day, was it January 22nd, 1973? And then the same day that Roe was ruled on, there was Roe v. Wade and was it Doe v. Bolton?
Hmm?
Was the same day. So Roe made it so that it was legal in all 50 states,
No
but
state could lay down a law,
yes.
that restricted abortion under certain
Yes, and
circumstances.
then Dovey Bolton made it, if I'm remembering the name of the case right. But then that same day, that case made it so that abortion was legal through all 40 weeks of pregnancy, 9 months of pregnancy in all 50 states. So yeah, it's just, and then of course, as time has gone on, states chipped away at their own state laws. It was so interesting for me because I remember being on the sidewalk in Texas when abortion was still legal till 20 weeks. And then I remember being on the sidewalk when abortion was legal till 6 weeks. And then I remember when there was a total ban. Like it was just kind of crazy for me, like seeing this like play out in real time, like watching clients, watching like the number of cars decline too, like the cars coming in and out of the
Mm.
parking lot. So I actually had the awesome, amazing opportunity to be outside the Supreme Court the moment that the Dobbs v. Jackson ruling came down. And you can imagine like eruption in cheers and tears. And I remember one person opening up a champagne bottle. Like, oh my gosh,
There
it
was,
was
I remember being
history.
out there when the Dobbs case was being argued. That was early December in 2021. And it was interesting because not too long prior, there was another case, the June medical case. If any of you are familiar, if you're in the movement, there was another case that we were anticipating would lead to the overturn of Roe. But unfortunately, when it came to certain laws that the pro-life movement wished to keep on the books, and it was health and safety regulations for
Oh,
clinics to follow.
yeah.
The court sided with the other side and feel the need for these restrictions to keep be enacted. And yeah, it was disappointing because we were like, well, we thought that it would like not just be accepted, but that it would go further and help the court realize that Roe was decided illogically in the first place, no legal basis. But not too long later, we had the Dobbs case, which also which had to do specifically with gestational limits. And finally, the court took the opportunity to review the prior some of the prior argumentation that went into the Roe case. Really, there were a lot of flaws with Roe versus Wade, and even Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the famous abortion supporting judge back in the day, had said that it was decided on a incorrect basis. It should have been, in her opinion, gender equality to be the kind of groundwork to build,
rather than a right to privacy.
That really Roe is like legally baseless the way it was created.
Yeah, I remember Kristen Hawkins from Students for Life reading off the ruling, and just it was like everybody quieted down. We're all like, "Oh my god, the ruling came down to shut up."
June 2022.
And then we're there, and then she says, "The Constitution does not confer a right to abortion," and all these eruptions, like, my gosh.
Yeah, and just thinking about how, like, for 50 years, people were being prevented from enacting protective laws on the basis of an erroneous, baseless Supreme Court decision.
In all 50 states.
Dobbs was just such a, what's the right term, like a breath of fresh air, but that didn't mean the job was completed.
Yes. So bringing it to the present day. So some states became like pro-life sanctuary states, pro-life safe havens, while others became abortion sanctuary states, abortion havens, which was really sad. Like, for example, in Texas had already enacted a trigger bill, so that if and when Roe was overturned, 30 days after would be a complete total ban on abortion. However, what's happening in states like Texas and other places is abortion pills are being trafficked in, and or people are just crossing state lines, which is really sad.
If you're not familiar with the abortion pill, it's funny, like, kind of not being I really don't feel I'm in an echo chamber. So it's always important for everyone to always double check that they are not. Make sure your ears are wide open, open minds.
I definitely think I'm in an echo chamber.
You're getting news from outside. You're always able and willing to talk to everybody.
I try to watch videos of multiple perspectives. Go on.
Yeah, just to say that, what was I saying?
What were you guys?
The thought went away from me.
You were saying it's definitely important. We always make sure we're not in an echo chamber.
Yeah, but before that, what was I saying?
What were you saying?
That, maybe we can cut this part out. And shoot.
Sorry, Robert. What were you saying? We're talking abortion pill deregulation.
The abortion pill.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got the thought back.
It's a surprise to me. Even within the pro-life community, I hear from people who are like, wait, abortion pill, what is that? And to me, being in this, with all these activist colleagues of mine, I feel that everyone, pro-life, abortion supporting, people in between, people unaware of abortion as of yet, everyone's heard about the abortion pill. Wait, a lot of people are still needing to learn all the building blocks of this controversy. And then
so many people think when we say abortion pill, we're talking about Plan B.
Yeah, and we're not.
The morning after pill. I was like, we're not talking about that. That's its own thing.
And then, so even the conversation of abortion pill trafficking kind of blindsides a lot of people, and need to stay aware of that, because it's like, not everyone's, in the know about all these abortion facts. Not everyone's like us. Not everyone's like the activists on the other side or opposition. But, the abortion pill is a mifepristone. It's used to essentially initiate and complete a miscarriage from scratch. I mean, that's probably the one that's prescribed for elective abortion. But it's a pill to create a miscarriage from scratch. And the pro-life movement, of course, wants to, influence people to, avoid making use of that, because it's really just like, when it comes to people choosing abortion, how would you describe how do you kind of lay that out of like why someone should avoid taking mifepristone or undergoing any abortion?
Yeah, well, I have so many thoughts in my mind right now, like different ways I could go with that. But I was just hanging out with Nathan Burning, the co-founder of Let Them Live, and he's really big on that majority of women who choose abortions are not choosing it freely. Like, it's not this free equal choice, because we haven't created an equally accessible option of food, housing, healthcare, et cetera, if you choose life. And anyways, I'm just bringing this up because I'm thinking of the girl who's considering an abortion pill. Like, one way how people paint that as this empowering decision, and she's autonomous and she's so strong, but then what's the reality of her situation, with probably there being a lack of support and resources,
so many unmet needs?
Anyways, I'm just thinking of what leads people to choosing the abortion pill. And I remember one time you and I having a conversation with David Daleiden, the undercover journalist from the Center for Medical Progress that exposed that Planned Parenthood sells baby body parts and that there's companies that buy these baby body parts from abortions. One time we were talking with David, and David was sharing with us how we like one big thing that will hopefully one day like change the perception of people with abortion being this empowering thing is if we can ever relay the message clearly that the majority of abortions are actually the coerced, like not this empowering flowery abortion that you think it is, like that the kind of abortion that most people are against, of they're being coerced, they're being trafficked, or et cetera, that if we can show people like actually the abortion that everybody agrees like no one should be forced to do that, or
Economic or
exactly,
familial pressure.
if we can explain to people that that's not just this fraction of a fraction, that's the majority, that most people would probably be like, wait, I don't support that, I don't want women to feel coerced, that is their only option. That's just something I remember David saying once, that actually the abortions that even the pro-aborts are against, if once we can say to people that's actually the majority, that hopefully more people would join our cause. But
the free and equal choice you're talking about doesn't exist usually.
That there's not this equal choice on the other side. We have to make, and I agree with Nathan, who worked with Let Them Live to save thousands of babies through just financial help, rental assistance, paying for people's groceries. Like, I agree with Nathan that there should be, in the ideal pro-life world, of like free housing, free rent, food, healthcare, etc., no wait times, and that there be this equal choice of, if you choose life, here's what you're gonna get immediately, no wait times. But okay, back to the abortion pill specifically. So I may be jumping ahead here, but our friends at Real Options Obria, which is a pro-life network of clinics in the San Francisco Bay Area, are being sued by the Attorney General. It is the people of California versus Heartbeat International and Real Options. Now, they're not being sued for performing abortion pill reversal protocol. They're being tried for simply advertising about abortion pill reversal. What? And
speech issue.
Yes. So I'm bringing this up because I was in court just this past week, I believe, and I was there for the opening arguments from both sides. And before the day ended, the people of California brought up a witness, expert witness, who was this abortionist who had studied the abortion pill. And he was explaining that the first pill of mifepristone, if I'm remembering correctly, acts as a prostaglandin to start cramps. So he was like, yeah, ladies, if you've ever had, he was kind of like really cheesy and like making jokes with the judge and the woman that was like the typewriter trying to, like, he kept being like, oh, do you want me to repeat that? Like, oh, did you get that? Like, yeah, kind of a little eerie, but
time and place, dude.
So he was explaining that mifepristone basically creates cramps, like as women who have periods, that our body cramps and we release our uterine lining, that first pill is what starts cramps. But of course, to a maximum like amount for no, not the first pill, I guess. Is it the second one? Am I getting ahead of myself?
Misoprostol.
Maybe you're talking about misoprostol.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember him talking about prostaglandins and cramping, but I guess he was talking about misoprostol. But this whole case is about mifepristone. So maybe there's also something with the prostaglandins and cramping that cuts off progesterone, because this whole case is about the abortion pill reversal protocol that gives a woman bioidentical progesterone to try to save the life of her baby, because the first pill, mifepristone, is what cuts off progesterone from the baby. And progesterone, pro in favor of, gesterone, gestating, in favor of gestating. So the progesterone hormone in the female body is what maintains the uterine lining. So like the estrogen builds up the uterine lining, but then the progesterone is what sustains it, maintains it, like enriches it. So when if a woman doesn't get pregnant in a cycle, then our progesterone levels drop and then the uterine lining releases. So yeah, the mifepristone first pill is what is trying to cut off the progesterone that the baby needs to be in the uterine, in the home of the uterine lining, and have his or her nutrients. And then the second pill is what starts the cramps, the fake miscarriage.
Yeah, they induced miscarriage. So it's just, I don't know if this is too trite to say. I hope it isn't. But, in general, our society rightly sees miscarriage as a tragedy, a negative experience. So why would pharmaceutical companies be creating or, selling, and doctors be specifically prescribing for the purpose of elective abortion a pill to create a miscarriage from
Yeah, I
scratch?
was
It's just,
talking.
that's a sign of like just disordered sympathy. Wouldn't
Mhm.
real sympathy look like providing for the needs of families so that they
Mhm.
can welcome the new baby with open arms
Yeah.
instead of saying I'll help you by helping them discard the baby?
Yeah, I was talking with a pro-life colleague once who him and his wife had experienced a miscarriage, and he was sharing with me of like, I don't know why anyone would choose that through an elective abortion pill. Like, why would anyone be like, I want to go through this experience? Because he was like, that was horrible.
And to the
And
point of free and equal access to choose life, I would assume many people really wish to not be undergoing these really tragic abortion experiences that they are going through, and the fault really lies with society and not stepping up to help, with the medical establishment for saying, oh, our way to help you through this, tough time is to double down on the harm that's befalling you. Shouldn't the medical establishment be providing the access and needs to choose life rather than kind of giving a rubber stamp of approval on abortion?
yeah, so
And
abortion pills have gone up since the fall of Roe, and I think the dysregulation, deregulation of abortion pills, at least for me, that was something I didn't see coming.
yeah,
I think
wasn't it
same.
during COVID where that was like that whole kind of
Yeah.
got the ball rolling for the increase of abortions
Yeah,
in the
that's a
country?
good point. And I also like I knew when Roe fell, it was going to become an individual state by state battle to save babies. Like that's what I was always taught. And but I didn't expect states to enshrine abortion in their state constitutions. I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, the crazy thing with Prop 1 in California, first off, the language on the ballot essentially said, do you support reproductive freedom? Yes or no? And it's like, okay, well, this isn't giving you the whole picture. Granted, there was a voter guide that, had, more text explaining the ins and outs of what it means to vote yes, what it means to vote no. That yes would mean, the government cannot set any regulations restricting abortion. But even the leader of the state Senate at the time said, what this just means that our current gestational limits on abortion will be enshrined in the Constitution, which means cut off at or either including 24 weeks, because 24 gestational weeks, there's been like there's been published literature on elective abortions at 24 weeks during the time before Dobbs. So I guess it was legal right at that point, but not a day later. And I forget the name of the Senate leader, but she was saying, Tony Atkins, I think, she was saying in the press that Prop 1 is just going to constitutionally protect in the state of California the current abortion law. But guess what's happened since then? UCSF, a major abortion provider in the city, is now advertising 25-week elective abortions, no medical reason needed whatsoever.
Ooh.
So I felt it was just very either ignorant or like outright deceptive how the state leaders were explaining what Prop 1 would create in the city of San Francisco, beyond San Francisco, sorry, in the state of California. That essentially it's, even with Roe gone, it's really not properly educating the citizens to make informed decision on what our abortion policy would be. Look, it's very undemocratic the way that abortions have been expanded in the state of California through Prop 1.
I was talking with Dina Espenscheid from the Leadership Institute this past weekend, and you were there for this conversation, that she was sharing something about language and the Overton window. And if you don't know what is the Overton window, it's like, what is the kind of middle point where people will be like, I'm really over here on this issue, but what you're saying, like, I kind of agree with that. So it's like us as pro-lifers, we want to be over here saying abortion's murder. And there's people over here that say abortion is healthcare and freedom. But if we were to say language like, hey, there's actually abortions happening past the point of viability, that could be an Overton window for some people to be like, oh, okay, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not really okay with that.
Why would we say that we're helping a woman when that baby could survive, outside the womb at this point? Like, can't we just help the mom by helping the baby too?
Yeah. So I'm just bringing this up because as pro-lifers, and I'm just like thinking with language choices, if we were to say, yeah, there's abortions happening at 25 weeks at UCSF, like people maybe would hear that and be like, what? But maybe if we start saying like abortions are happening past the point of viability at UCSF, like maybe that could reach people's Overton windows.
I think it's like the phrase late term abortion is one that shuts a lot of people off, right?
Yeah.
And
abortion bans.
It's been smart for the other side to have the retort ready to say, late term abortion isn't a medical term. It's like, well, okay, there's all forms of language, but sure, let's just describe abortions post 24 weeks. Let's just be exact in what we're talking about rather than using, pro-life language that may or may not, hit people the wrong way. But it's just, and we've seen even before, like I mentioned, even before Roe versus Wade was overturned, babies at 24 weeks have a high likelihood of surviving, premature birth or, any sort of early delivery where, the question is, if we provide the medical care, can they survive long term? And at 24 weeks, it's like, yes, but those babies have been killed for years at abortion institutions in our backyard. Yeah. And now babies even older than that as well. Not even to speak of like past 26 weeks, if there's a fear or diagnosis of Down syndrome, for example, those babies, like I would consider that elective abortion as well. That baby isn't necessarily going to have a terminal condition just because of that diagnosis. Like, why should they be, cast to the wayside by our medical institution? And families encouraged not to think about those babies in a favorable way, to encourage to care for their children.
Yeah, it's so messed up how it's like, I feel so many people are like, don't discriminate, create equal opportunity, like for people that are disabled or different, like let's make it everything, ADA compliant or et cetera, et cetera. But then it's like, okay, and this same human is now in the womb, and then people will be like, oh, have you thought about abortion? Like,
it's what? Bewildering. Like you can only laugh or cry about it. Seriously.
So I just want to put in a plug for our campaign, Ethical Research Now. If you are infuriated by everything we're saying about abortions happening at the point of viability, past the point of viability at the University, California, San Francisco, go to ethicalresearchnow.org, fill out the action page that will send an email to the people in power within the UC system demanding for an end to fetal organ harvesting and demanding for the start of ethical research now. So just want to put in a plug for that.
So it's just been sad to see this expansion of abortion in states with abortion supporting legislatures. And so, while some people would, look at what's happening in the abortion conversation in the US and say, well, when you guys overturned Roe, abortions increased. What's the deal? What did you guys do wrong here? And it's like the other side didn't stay still. They were active in changing things even before Roe.
Yeah, like our friend Dr. New, who's like the pro-life data guy of the movement, has done research showing that, okay, in a state like Texas, okay, we don't know, there's no way to quantify how many people are leaving the state how many abortion pills are getting, flown in. Like, okay, we can't count all the clandestine abortions, but what can we count? Babies. And we know that the birth rate has increased in Texas. So hooray, that it seems to be that pro-life laws do work. And I just want to add another point. My friend, our pro-life colleague Monica Snyder from Secular Pro-Life, sent me this well-written article that I need to
Meditate on.
do a deep dive in about how equal protection laws don't work. And what I mean by that are the laws that say that women who choose abortions, who freely choose abortions, they themselves should be punished, not just the abortionist, the performer of the abortion,
or aiders and abettors, fathers, boyfriends.
Yes. And but one big part I remember of that article that I need to reread is that there's no way that we can look at a miscarriage and look at an abortion pill baby that died was killed from that, and we can't look and know, like, was this a miscarriage, was this an abortion, because the outcome looks to be the same. And so that was one argument she made of like, how can we know? And then, that's something that the other side goes on and on about. They're gonna make miscarriages illegal.
It's never a goal.
Never a goal, because miscarriage care is always legal and is not actively killing an innocent baby when you're just removing the already dead baby. But I'm kind of going on a rabbit trail here. But
yeah, to bring it back to the, benchmark victory that Dobbs was, it's just the point in the road that our culture's at now. We're not at the finish line.
Nope.
There's man, if you think about how so many people still need to be helped along in understanding, look, there's a supportive community here that will recognize the fact that, you and your partner, you've got a baby here. You all deserve support as a family. And it would be negligent to have like parade flags for like abortion to say this will be your salvation. Like that is negligent. And we want to recognize everything about your experience, what you're going through, your whether it's abusive family, an abusive partner, whether it's just a feeling of hopelessness. Like we understand the reality that pregnancy can bring about so many emotions. And we want to hear you and help you through everything you're experiencing. But the one thing that the pro-life movement will not do is sit back and say, well, let's pay for that abortion. Let's get this. And it's really crazy how like some abortion supporters are very crude online with like saying, Yeetus the fetus. It's like okay, you can be honest about like humor, that's funny, but the idea behind it is the exact opposite of how funny it is. It is so dark. How can you neglect someone's it's like I said, I'm just talking in circles at this point.
You just made me think of this meme. I think it came out after Dobbs, or maybe after the Dobbs leak happened, but someone posted like abort the court, and then I think it was dank pro-life memes or some pro-life meme account that was like, but I thought abortion is healthcare. So you mean you want to healthcare the court? Like, what does that mean?
I mean, it's proper and accurate for people to depict abortion as a killing, because it is. And it is wrong to kill.
It's like, but I thought this was just healthcare. So you just want to healthcare the court. And now that I'm just thinking even further, if people were to ever say like, your mom should have aborted you, then it's like, but I thought abortion was just healthcare. Like, you wanted my mom to healthcare me? Like, huh? It's like we both secretly understand. You understand abortion would mean I would not be here because I would have been killed. But I just want to put in a plug. If you or someone you know is facing an unexpected pregnancy, or even just to have in your back pocket for you never know when, we have our Life Affirming Directory website, bayareareprocare.com, which is a one-stop shop directory of all of the life-affirming nonviolent resources that I have found in San Francisco. And I really want to build this directory to be a holistic Bay Area directory.
And the really cool thing about this, she was pregnant when she was doing the research for this.
You're like, so right.
For years, we have
making the website.
always been able to direct people to the pregnancy care centers in our area, the clinics such as Alpha Pregnancy Center and Real Options with their various locations across the Bay Area. We, usually point to the Oakland one because it's closest. But yeah, since Melanie came aboard, she's been able to find, go above and beyond and adding to the list of resources that we've been able to point people to. We had more than just those two before, but now we have even more.
Yes.
And then we have this whole directory
we also
site.
have it available in Espanol. So, anything else in terms of court updates?
Yeah. Well, to put a cap on the Dobbs conversation,
Okay.
I'm just excited that the U.S. Supreme Court has recognized its failing in the first place, that Roe versus Wade had no legal basis to begin with. It was entirely unworkable. And now we have somewhat of a clean slate to, democratically protect children, provide real support for families state to state, though it really is kind of I know that Lila Rose from Live Action has talked about this, that really there is no legal basis to saying that, that fellow human beings can go without recognition until people vote democratically to protect them. It's like the court should have had a decision immediately that yes, abortion is a violation of the right to life and ought to be banned across the country. Either that or a constitutional amendment. I wish that can happen immediately. But I guess that's going to happen state by state if things culturally are at the same pace as they are now.
To give my closing thoughts on this topic, I heard a pro-lifer say once that the road ahead, though tough, is a road we would not even get to take had it not been for the overruling of Roe v. Wade. So I'm not saying it's easy that abortion became enshrined in California and other states, and babies are being saved in others but not equally protected in others. Like, what? This is dystopia. But it's a road we wouldn't even get to take. And I heard one pro-lifer say once, the imagery of let's imagine we are on a football field, FIFA, anyone? And we're pushing this rubber band and this large field wide rubber band, and we're pushing towards, the end of the field, towards the goal. And as we get closer and closer to the finish line, the band is going to get harder. It's going to get more heavy. The battle's going to feel oh, this is impossible the closer and closer we get to victory. So I like that imagery that, yes, it's really hard now, and victory is possible. It will be in reach. And Teresa, our founder, she wrote in an email recently about how it kind of feels like right now we're kind of in a winter season with pro-life work, activism, but that we got to get ready for the spring because the springtime will come.
You always prepare. You're always ready.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Right, exactly.
Yes. So I hope for the day when we have a national ban, whether it's a constitutional amendment or a federal law.
Or enough states just protecting it without a constitutional amendment, protecting the right to life.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be a U.S. federal ban before California ever has a state ban.
Well,
but never say never. Huh? The odds are never zero.
Never.
But so in other recent events, our friend Anna.
Yes, the right to free speech on the public sidewalk in San Francisco. It is in a good state right now, with a court case that should have never been brought in the first place.
And our friend Anna's charges will be dropped.
Yes, if you're not familiar with the case,
I thought you were gonna say the kicker, but
kicker, yeah.
Oh well, we said it together.
Yeah, I'm not the best cheerleader verbally, just mentally. I can write some amazing supportive stuff in text, but I'm a little bit reserved.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just so great. There was an agreement between the DA of San Francisco, the DA's office, and Anna's defense team that these charges that allege a violation of the California FACE Act, which never took place, no violation never occurred, that these charges will be dropped as long as she refrains from getting arrested for anything in the next 3 months.
So Anna signed...
That means no PETA protests for her. She's always got someone up her sleeve.
No oil protest.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anna signed...
No climate protest arrests either.
Anna signed a pre-plea deal that did not admit any guilt. And yeah, as you said, as long as she's not arrested for the next 3 months, the charges are dropped.
And those were, of course, accusation that social media video she created, the accusation that there was intent to place someone in fear of bodily harm, which could only be argued if you look at 1/4 of the video out of context and decide to misinterpret it entirely.
Yeah, so silly. It was a whole nothing burger from the start. And in the end, it was a nothing burger.
But yeah, they were threatening her with 2 years in prison.
Yeah,
and
crazy.
over something that anyone would be free to say, that literally 99.9% of commenters on her videos never interpreted it as something threatening.
Yeah.
Ever.
So now Anna is back at the sidewalk.
Yes.
Woohoo!
That is the best part.
Because
yes,
part of the
during the whole trial and everything.
She was given a restraining order to stay away from this death escort that was intimidated, which was baseless intimidation. But she had, part of the restraining order was that she had to stay away from this death escort's volunteer location where she goes to volunteer, which is Planned Parenthood. So Anna was away from Planned Parenthood for months and months and months, but she signed that pre-plea deal and homegirl is back at the sidewalk. So congratulations, Anna. We are so happy that your charges are going to be dropped.
And we're so happy that you're back on the sidewalk to serve women and do the opposite of the neglectful thing, the opposite of just letting the ball roll and having people deal with an abortion decision on their own. Like, it's important for pro-lifers like Anna and everyone else to be ready to support families, be ready to intercept through conversation. And of course, the laws of San Francisco, the city ordinance says that the right to sidewalk counsel, uses that phrase exactly, the phrase sidewalk counseling, is recognized, just must be balanced with access to the building, to abortion. So we have a pass from the city of San Francisco, government, as well as, of course, the Supreme Court. McCullen versus Coakley was the Supreme Court decision that recognized the right to sidewalk counsel, to do sidewalk outreach. What we're doing, we're inviting people to conversations, inviting them to learn more information about support systems.
And leafleting like any other cause, any other person that is doing outreach for their various activities.
Like PETA or the what was it? The Scientologists out on Market Street, always offering those personality tests, right? You see them.
I have seen them. Yeah. So really, I feel like this was a big intimidation tactic against Anna, and to intimidate the wider pro-life community, because it's like, what? They can go after her for a silly, trendy video. They can go after any of us. But in the end, justice prevailed.
Yes. True justice would have been charges just dropped out of hands
from the beginning.
But we're glad that the specter, is that the phrase? The specter is off from over the head of and by extension anyone
shout
else.
Out to all the pro-lifers who called and emailed the DA's office. That probably had to have had some impact in a pre-plea deal happening and them not taking it to trial a second time, because didn't they want to take it to trial a second time?
Yes. Yeah.
So I want to believe that the people who called and emailed had to have had an impact of like, okay, maybe we should just drop this silly case.
So thankfully, Anna and her team at the Survivors, they're able to continue to have an impact for the families of San Francisco and by extension, pro-life San Francisco, 40 Days for Life. I know that the Star Pro-Life group has their outreach as well on Saturdays.
Yeah, Saturdays.
I'm not sure how much it goes into conversation versus just their
to my knowledge, they pray,
which is effective for people. There's definitely a certain percentage of people that fail to show up to their abortion appointments because of what they've been able to observe outside.
Just
it strikes a chord.
Because someone is standing outside, people will be deterred from going to their abortion appointment. And as one case closes, another opens. As I've already touched on, our friends at Real Options Obria are on trial for advertising the abortion pill reversal protocol. It's this whole argument about commercial speech and that it's a fundraising tactic because they they advertise about abortion pill reversal, and therefore they get donations from this, which is just so crazy because the clientele that they serve with the abortion pill reversal protocol is like a fraction of their overall clientele of all the people that they see. So even if that was like the moneymaker for the donors, like it's a fraction of a fraction, like. And
the whole thing is that they're suing this Attorney General Rob Bonta, who's suing Heartbeat International and Real Options under a false advertising law that has that kind of figured into it. But
yes, when I was there at the opening argument, a huge part of what the people's defense or the people's counsel was saying, the lawyer, was that there's no proof that abortion pill reversal is safe and effective, and everywhere in all these different websites and emails and forms it says safe and effective, and I forgot what other language they were using, but they were trying to prove, look, nowhere does science show that blah blah blah,
that you can reverse the effects of mifepristone stage 1 of 2 of the abortion pill protocol.
But then it's just so crazy of like, what do you say to this? Like this mom literally holding her baby because of the abortion pill reversal protocol. Like, what? Like, it's going to be interesting as this case goes on, and as the pro-aborts are going to hear testimony from moms whose babies were saved thanks to the abortion pill protocol, like abortion pill reversal.
And 64 to 68% effective rate, right? Because apparently sometimes when people take mifepristone without taking the follow-up misoprostol for an abortion procedure, that's a little bit of a there's a small percentage of babies who will survive just the first pill, though you
even
need
without the progesterone.
misoprostol. Even without the added progesterone for abortion pill reversal.
Some babies will survive that, but it's first abortion.
Under 15%, while when you do the abortion pill reversal protocol, the chances of a continued pregnancy are significantly higher, 64 to 68%. And you need to be under doctor supervision if this is something that befalling you, if you've taken an abortion pill and do you have second thoughts, you should have the right to a second chance at choice, as Real Options says.
It's so crazy to me because I feel like, okay, if you're really pro-abortion and you are all for women's choices,
you activists out there,
why wouldn't you think if a woman takes the first abortion pill and she changes her mind, why not say, just so you know, this is also an option, this is also a choice that is available to you? Like, what?
Right. Shouldn't someone, if someone's undergoing an abortion, shouldn't there be ongoing consent?
That you can withdraw consent. Are we all about consent? That consent can be withdrawn at any time. Something I talked about in our last episode of the Harvesting Justice podcast, episode 16. So go ahead and listen to that last episode, Harvesting Justice 16? Podcast. Well, this is going to be episode 17. Yes. So I had an interview with Tasha Kearns, registered nurse and CEO of Real Options, where we really dived into the facts of this case and all the good work that they do at Real Options Ovria.
Consent, part about ongoing.
And so something I brought up to her was like, okay, pro-aborts want to say like women are strong, women are empowered, and women are intelligent, so therefore women are free to choose abortion. Let women have the choice for abortion. And so my argument is like, okay, if women are strong and powerful and intelligent, then why are you not okay with women also finding out about this option? Like, I think about it too as pro-life people on the sidewalk outside of an abortion industry, when the death squads try to like get in our way and intercept and
running interference, as they were testifying during
interference, and the security also trying to run his interference on keeping women from receiving these brochures and talking with us. Like, I'm like thinking like, hold up. If women are strong and powerful and intelligent, why can't a woman consensually have a conversation with me? Like, what? If you're so pro women are these wonderful, amazing, autonomous beings with their free will, then why can't you just let her in her autonomy and her power and her free will talk to me and get this brochure? And so same thing with the abortion pill reversal, if women are strong and powerful and all the things
As they are,
yes, clock it. Why then can't we tell women that this is also a viable option for you if you change your mind? Like, what?
Sue a
It's just like,
pro-life medical
are
clinic.
women smart and powerful and you want them to have all the options, or don't you? Because it seems like you don't. It seems very inconsistent. So
Right.
that's the rant.
Rant not over, just paused. We shall continue when we next bring up Rob Bonta. And yes, it's probably coming along to the end of another episode of Harvard Justice, isn't it?
Yes.
Is there any final
what
thoughts?
about Rob?
Just the fact that, at any time, just like with, with Anna's case, with this case against Real
Attorney
Options.
General Rob Bonta.
Yes. At any time, it can decide to just end this lawsuit. It's like, just allow the movement to speak about abortion pill reversal. Can't we have this free speech? Can't we just freely communicate and let women decide?
Can you believe, like, in April, David Daleiden charges were finally dropped? Like, the case is dismissed in April. And then now here we are in June. Anna's case, the pre-plea deal was signed, and eventually in 3 months her charges will be dropped, because I don't think homegirl about to get arrested and risk all this
her
chaos
freedom
again.
over nothing.
Yeah, so the charges will be dropped from Anna's case, and then now here we are, another thing with the California Attorney General now coming after.
Can we be on the offense with court support one of these days? Like, it's always us getting attacked.
Can I be in a courtroom where the pro-aborts have to feel like they need to do court support for the I'm talking about some like alternative universe.
Right, yes.
Where the pro-aborts are like, we have to show up because the pro-life judge, or I don't know.
One day in California.
Because, like, sometimes I think about like an alternative universe, like dystopian world, where pro-aborts feel like they have to do sidewalk counseling outside of a pregnancy center to, like, tell girls about abortion and abortion options. Like, I don't know. Like, to me, it's like, would a pro-abort ever actually do that? Like, what do they have against a pregnancy center? That's just where my mind goes. I'm all into thinking about universes.
So a different dystopia than the one we're existing in right now.
Yes, we are in a dystopia. Anyways, I'm blabbling. I'm going crazy. Blabbling. Maybe that time of day for a nap. I'm sure your son is ready for a nap some one of these minutes. It's soon. About JT's nap time, which means...
How long have you been up? She's a young mother. How long have you been up today already?
I actually slept in today, which I slept until like 9:30. Excellent. Which I never do, because normally I get up around 6. So it's crazy. But yeah, 2 p.m. This is about my son's nap time, which means this is normally my time for a green tea matcha latte. Ooh. So that I can keep going the rest of the day.
Get you that latte and recharge.
Yes.
I think we're about out of energy at this point.
This is everything. So if you are pro-life in the San Francisco Bay Area, you are not alone. Please join us. Go to prolifesanfrancisco.org, prolifesf.org. Does prolifesanfrancisco.org also go to our website?
Even also.com?
Like,
.com and .org both.
But I said prolifesanfrancisco.org. Do we own that domain? No. Don't buy it.
ProLifeSF.org. We'll put $20 down before this is published.
Why don't we own that domain? Okay, anyways. Yeah, go to prolifesf.org. Join our email list. That is the best and quickest way to stay in the loop of all the happenings at ProLifeSF. And again, just want to remind you, go to ethicalresearchnow.org. Take the action step. Let all the people in power within the UC system know that you demand for an end to fetal organ harvesting. Go to ethicalresearchnow.org.
Whoever you are, wherever you're from, whatever you believe about anything, believe in the right to life, that no one has the authority to take someone else's life, other than if you see someone aiming a weapon at someone else. Like literally, besides that, no, you do not. You know that you do not have the right to take a life, that doctors do not either, that nurse practitioners, that no one in the medical field has that right either, and that promoting abortion is neglect. If you believe that, you are not alone. I just wanted to give my little spin on that message as well. So
thanks for that, Robert.
Come join us.
So any parting words? What should we say now?
Protect the right to life in all stages.
Yes, the future of California is pro-life.
There we go.
Alrighty, see you next time on the Harvesting Justice podcast.
Peace out.
Over and out.